This is an administrator tutorial video for users of the sagmilling.com system. As an administrator, you can add new users in 3 different ways. All of them, you start with the administration button. This brings you to the title page of your company's setup. And there is an option here to just enter an email address for somebody to send an invitation to. So if you send the invitation to this person, it will allow them to set up their user ID and password, which you will then need to approve before they have access to the system. There is a second option, is you can just take this URL that is displayed on the screen, email it to somebody, and it will allow them to do the same activity, entering a user ID and a password, which you will then need to approve. There's a third option, is that you can create the user's ID yourself and then email them their user ID and password. And you do that by clicking the users button, and then from the list of users, add a new user. Typically, we will use the person's email address as their user ID. Enter first and last names. Enter the email address again. Normally, we would just leave the tips and tricks at the beginner level, language at your pleasure. If you click approved, this automatically approves the ID and adds this person to your sagmilling.com domain. And you also need to choose what their level of access is to your data. For a small company, it's normal to set everybody up as an administrator so that they can see everything and add themselves to projects. If you run a larger organization, you might have to restrict certain users to only certain projects, in which case you set these people as users. Once you've set the person up with their particular access level and press submit, this will create the account, and then you will have to send them an email with the user ID and the password that you set up. Now, once this is done, you have to now add this person to the projects that they are supposed to be working on. So in the list of projects, you're going to edit the appropriate project. The Edit Project screen, click to the members. These are the people who are currently added to the project. We will now add that new user to this project, and we will give them the read-write access so that they can enter data into this project and make changes to the mill settings and so on, and they can run simulations. When a user sets up their ID using the invitation email or using the link that was provided, after they've entered that information, they will show up in your list as a pending person with an account that is locked. So if you unlock the account and then click Edit, so you will then choose the role for this user, whether it's user or admin, and submit. So at this point now, this new user will have access to the projects that you now specifically give them access to. So this concludes the tutorial video for how to add a new user to your sagmilling.com domain.